back to the Rugby Connection podcast by the fans for the fans. This week we are here. The gang is back from last week. We have Murray with us.
Hooray! Nice not hosting, running it this week. I was in charge this week.
I was about to say. And we've also got our friendly Safa, Cam.
I'm back. I'm always here now.
Who is probably going to be very happy with the result we'll first talk about.
Very.
Argentina, South Africa.
Yeah.
Just the one Rugby Championship game this week. This weekend, anyway.
Yeah.
South Africa 36, Argentina 20. 22-6 at the break, with Argentina fighting back in the late stages before South Africa basically run away with it in the last few minutes. Cam, as our friendly Safa, what was going through your mind?
First half, very happy. I thought that was probably the best half of rugby the Boks have played in the Rugby Championship, maybe minus the All Black first opening game against the All Blacks. We just stuck to the game plan, kept it tight. Argentina, I think if you look at the stats, possession was 70-30 to the Springboks. So Argentina really getting no ball whatsoever. Possession was a bit more, I think it was like 53-47 something. So the Boks, kept it tight and just stuck to our game plan, really just squeezing the Pumas. Second half, though, game got a bit more loose and really played into Argentina's hand. And I must say, I think at one point it was 22-20. And I think
by that point, I'd come home from work, and my God, I was bricking it.
Oh yeah,
because Argentina, because I'd seen the score 22-6, and I was like, this will be plain sailing for Saffers, right? I come, I leave, make a cup of tea, come back in, 22-20, and I'm sat here, it's like, what? And one thing I will say, and this is nothing to do with the game itself, but was the fans. The Argentinian fans were rocking.
Properly vocal. And the stadium itself, I think against Australia, they played in, where do they play? I can't even remember the bloody city names where they played, but this is the capital city they played in, wasn't it?
Buenos Aires, yeah.
That's it. The stadium's fucking big stadium, and it was packed.
The Argentinian fans, I'm not going to say they were the laughing stock of the last 10 years in Southern Hemisphere rugby, but they definitely weren't a powerhouse.
No.
But my God, are their fans incredible.
100%.
They're playing at Independiente's stadium, the football club. And genuinely, it was rocking. That camera was not stable for those 5 minutes.
No, it was brilliant. Great atmosphere. And to be fair, I think in that final sort of 20, obviously the Argentinian fans getting more vocal, getting behind their team. And I think, if anything, that also bolstered the Boks a bit, gave them a wake-up call, because they really needed one. Because if they hadn't sort of sorted out their stuff in the last sort of 20, Argentina could have easily run away with that game.
I'd say for me, though, I'd say the difference the last 5 minutes. And for me, I think it was more desperate from the Argentinians. Yeah,
I think coming off last round's big loss against the All Blacks, 53-3 is a big beating. Now they're in front of their home crowd in the capital city. You got to think, for a player on that pitch, the nerves have to get to. And I think, desperation is probably the best word. They seem too impatient to get the score to put them in front. And then, the Boks sort of stepped up that gear again and managed to take the game away with what looks like a pretty decent scoreline. But believe me, if you didn't watch the game, it was a lot closer than 36-20 in that second half, especially.
Yeah, and it was just complete frustration, if I'm brutally honest. Like, you could see they were, how many handbags do we have in those last 5 minutes? The Argentinians were just having it at the Saffers at that point.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's it's the same situation as how we said, how me and Murray said in that game, Australia versus South Africa. The passion, can't fault the Argentinians' passion, and it was a few handbags and whatnot, just shows that it's a game that they want to win. But yeah, hell of a game. One shout I have to say, the Springboks sort of emerging starting scrum half now, Jaden Hendrickse. Obviously he had a lovely little dummy sniped under the posts. I think he's really settling into, because obviously Faf de Klerk, I know you're not his biggest fan, but I do love Faf.
No, what?
I've loved Faf for a long time, but I have to say it's nice to see, and I think some other teams, Wales, seem to be a bit hesitant to get rid of their older players. It is nice to see the Springboks sort of willing to, put these younger players into the starting positions, and it's paying off because, they are making an impact on the team.
I love the fact that Cameron's on about how good it is for youngsters to get into South Africa, and Frans Steyn saw an absolute beauty of a conversion.
It seemed like so nonchalant for him. Like he didn't even see it. It's like a training kick. Like he's like, oh yeah, I'll kick this over anytime.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's what he's known for at this point. It's just the absolute limbs.
No, I think, it's lovely seeing, like I said, the young players like, Kane and Moody. He had a pretty decent game, was a bit quiet at times, but we had a few good runs. Hendrickse, Jasper de Vise, Ulrich Lowe came on at the end, near the end as well. But, it's nice to see the more experienced players like Willy Leroux, like Frans Steyn and whatnot. They're still there. They still make the impact, and, they just bring the team together.
Anyway, let's swiftly move on, because there was actually another Rugby Championship game this week, which kind of it was on Thursday. Australia All Blacks, 39-37.
It's riddled with controversy, isn't it?
This might be, and you know how everyone talks about the greatest rugby match of all time, the 2001 Bledisloe Cup, 40-38. I felt like this could be a rival to it.
A contender, yeah.
If it finished clean, yes.
I think the controversy adds to the memory.
But the thing is, that's what it is. Like, a great game is never just the play; it's everything surrounding it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
it's
think about it.
Exciting with skills, tries, scores, but it's also got to have controversy. It's got to make you come away from the game feeling something if you're on either side or as a neutral.
Well,
yeah, I think the most memorable games always have a bit of controversy in them.
100%.
Well, wait a minute. So when it happened, for those that don't know, you've been living under a rock for a start because it's been everywhere. Nick White slotted a beautiful, halfway penalty to give Australia the lead with about 4-5 minutes to go. Pretty much sealing the win. Pretty much all but confirmed. All you had to do was just ride it out. They got given a penalty on their 5-metre line with about 90 seconds to go. Now all you have to do is boot upfield and then just hold possession and kick it out. Then there might have been a lack of communication. There definitely wasn't. There's been more footage that's came out since then. Basically, the ref said time was off, but then instantly said time was up. Time was on, and Bernard Foley standing was thumb up his arse, looking for inspiration, and then the players are telling him to hurry up. He's about to kick it, and they go, nope, penalty to All Blacks because you've kicked it wrong. And then our friend of the show, Nick White, who was captain at the time for the game, just told Reynal that you've just robbed us the Rugby Championship.
I can see the emotion there. But I think when it first happened, when I was watching the game, I think when Nick White slotted that penalty kick, I was in my car on the way to work, and I almost swerved into the other lane because I was so excited. I was playing it through my car radio, and I was listening. I was waiting for them to say the flags are up, and it went over, and I was like, they've done it. They've won the Bledisloe Cup. And then I got to work, watched the rest of the game, and when it first happened, I was absolutely appalled with the call because I was under the assumption, like I assume Mr. Foley himself, that time was off. Then it was called, and I was like, well, they've just been robbed. But like you said, throughout the week, more footage has come through. You'd be able to hear the ref, exactly what the ref was saying. And a bit of a mishap from Bernard Foley. And you did see I think, who was it? Andrew Callaway, the other Australian players and whatnot shouting at him, saying, just kick the ball.
Kick the ball, yeah.
Just kick the ball, man.
I mean, we could talk about Andrew Callaway quickly. I mean, he pretty much got them on the come up.
Yeah,
2 times, 6 minutes. Unreal.
What a player.
Was he playing? Could have actually been a hat trick. Should have been a hat trick.
Was he playing fullback?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, nice sort of fight. Yeah.
Nice to see him. I've always rated Callaway since, I think, when I watched the France tour of Australia. That's when I first sort of noticed Callaway, and I was like, he's a class player, and he still is. A bit quiet, I felt like, in recent times against England, maybe, and whatnot. But definitely a class player.
To see how grin in the corner.
Have a little grin on his face.
That's like the only time I'd let him be quiet.
To be fair, I was with Cam that Australia were robbed, and it was an absolute shocking decision. And like he said, there was more footage. The ref was telling you the time was up. There was players telling Foley just kick the ball. It was a comment on a video I posted that stood out to me, and I was like, it's nice to see Australia know what it's like to be robbed of the game. #2015, never forget. And I was like, yes, karma's a bitch. There you go.
No, I was looking on a lot of SA rugby fans' Facebook page and whatnot, and all the SA fans saying, this is what we've been saying about French refs the whole time. I did have a bit of a giggle, to be fair, but no, I think, looking back on it, a ballsy call from the ref.
Yes.
But, fair play to him. At the end of the day, he made the right call.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Even if you think you've got it in the bag, don't try and kill the game. It doesn't work. It will not work for you.
Especially with 90 seconds to go. Like you said, all they had to do is kick it out, hold on to possession. I don't know what he was thinking, really.
I mean, it's that big of an impact on the sport this weekend. It was actually mentioned in the Premiership because Matthew Carlin, there was a penalty, time's off, and the player obviously went, are you sure? Don't worry, I'll let you know when time's back on. And the commentators mentioned it and everything. I went, love it.
Anyway, move on.
Stays in.
Obviously Australia will probably never see a Bledisloe in their life.
There's a quick one for you, just a little joke. Will Australia get a Bledisloe in the next 10 years?
Oh, yeah. 10 surely.
Yeah. The only reason I'm asking for 10 is because it has been 20 years with the boys in black. So
quick question for you, do they play for the Bledisloe on a World Cup year?
Yeah?
Yeah, Rugby Championship.
It's
Rugby Championship during the summer.
Yeah, but it's reduced fixtures.
Yeah, but they still play it during the summer. Rugby Championship.
Well, there we are. Next year, I'm saying Australia take it. Fuck it.
That's a season 4 problem. Bloody hell, Jesus.
Anyway, moving on. Murray mentioned about the Prem. So should we move over to England?
We should.
Go on then. Not move to England, but
the Prem. Round 2, back again, and we're back with a bang. Let's talk about some results. First of all, and one of the big ones I want to go on to, London Derby, Harlequins Saracens.
Oof.
I am heartbroken.
Yeah.
I've learned something from that game, and it's, don't get annoyed at me. I don't know how it works. So Quins are famous for pulling a result out of thin air with 60 minutes on the clock and like the dying efforts. It's 60 minutes when Harlequins come to life, right? But I've learned from this game, you can't run away with the game.
I've just no.
He's off. He's left.
No, listen, right, okay. Yes, I know we're Harlequins, the infamous comeback kings. We were 24-12 up at half time. They just ran with it in the second half.
Yeah,
we were destroyed in the second half. one Tommaso Allen penalty, and that was it for us. We had a 12-point lead and we blew it. One thing I have learnt though is that I'm actually good when it comes to predictions.
Don't brag about it. You're backed against
You
your
can't
team.
brag about this. You can't brag about this.
Listen, it pains me to say, and I said to you guys last week that Saracens. This is like the merger club. No, never. Anyway, Saracens are a force to be reckoned with this season. I knew this. Like, I think I underestimated Saracens' team for who they are. But if we have a look at their starting 15, Elliot Daly, Ben Earl, Owen Farrell, Mara Toji, Alex Lewington, Alex Lazowski, Max Malins, Theo McFarland, Hugh Tizard, Nick Tompkins, Billy Vinapola.
Pretty stacked.
I like all of them apart from the last one you said.
But even if you go into, the bench, Andy Christie, Vinapola, you've got. Listen, Saracens are stacked, right? They've got an incredible lineup on them, and they will be a force to reckon with this season. While it would absolutely kill me for them to win another Premiership, I'm used to seeing it already. As for Quins, it was a bit of a shame because we cannot bring out a full strength side. And by that, obviously, Marcus and Danny did not return, which I'm not sure what's the deal with that.
I was going to ask what happened there because it came up like confusion in the camp as Smith isn't in the team, and I'm like,
well,
why not?
I'm not sure what happened because apparently it was something to do with obviously them being on England duty, but Farrell was back.
There's no England duty there now.
Mako was back.
Maro.
No, Benny was back. Whoever bloody hell played for England over the summer, they were all back apart from both Danny Kerr and Marcus Smith. So I'm not sure what happened, but listen, there are still some things I'd like to take away from this game in terms of a Harlequins perspective. Caden Murley is one of the best wingers in the Premiership. Scored 2 tries in 8 minutes, in the first 8 minutes. If the Rugby Magazine's fantasy was still be around, he'd be the first name on my team sheet. RIP the Rugby Magazine fantasy because it was so good. Unfortunately, it didn't get the funding this year. It is probably the most thing I'm sad about in the death. And then Anyanwu. We picked him up from Richmond over the summer. He showed good for Richmond in the Championship, but my God, he has started off the season well for Quins. I've got a lot to say about him. He's been class, right?
He has. I mean, his chip and chase last week against Newcastle.
It was the dreams.
Yes, and then it's like an old school crash ball 12.
But that's what you need.
You need that, yeah.
I mean, well, obviously, and Andre Esterhazen's away on Safa's duty.
Should be starting.
Mate, I've been saying it for a while now. He's the best centre in the world. Don't quote me on this.
Why the bloody hell they had Jesse Creel starting instead of Esterhazen, I don't know. But anyway, continuing with the
Esterhazen's incredible. Then again, for our lineup, obviously we had the likes of Tyrone Green, Alex Dombrandt, Joe Marchant, Joe Marler. Again, some good players. Some very, very good players. It's a shame we couldn't get the win. But then again, it was tough opposition. We had a good show, and we'll be stronger next week. Even though I don't know if we've got a bye week next week.
Yeah. I will say I was quite confused in the chat because I saw Harv say, we're thrashing him. We've got Saris in the mud, and then I came back and I saw the score, and I was like,
no, don't out me because what was it? Was it Kyle who texted us and when lads, it's been the worst day of my life we lost and Connacht lost, and I was like, oh, imagine losing. But then no one came up about the Harlequins thing. I was like, because Murray just got back to the Edinburgh game.
Yeah, I read it and I just went, I'm just going to ignore that and let someone else figure that one out.
Ignore that comment.
I was praying that no one figured it out. But anyway, today's game was Exeter. I'm going to get back to the Murray. I want to talk about this one. Exeter Worcester.
Woo!
Got a bit shaky towards the end.
Oof.
I did.
Worcester were in the game. And I don't want to. I'm not going to say anything bad about Exeter because Murray will revoke my contract. But
track off, you can go for if you want. I don't mind.
If we have contracts, but no. Worcester were in it, and I really wanted to see them win. I know Murray wouldn't say the same, but I really, really wanted to see Worcester win.
I think anyone here other than Murray would have wanted to see Worcester win.
Thing is,
when I saw the score, I was shocked.
Murray would have been like, "Oh well, you know, we would want it close just for the sake of it." But
no, but you can tell. I know, like, we're not going to go into all the issues off field because there's not.
They just continue, don't they?
We've said everything we have to say.
It's just getting worse as well, and it's just getting sad at this point. But those Worcester fans on the East Stand at Six Ways today, my God, passion-wise, they could have matched the Argentinians.
Yeah, fair play.
They did a nice little touch as well. 65th minute into the game, standing ovation for the minute for the staff that's only been paid 65% of their wages. And yeah, I mean, they showed a lot of heart. Ollie Lawrence, special player, keep a hold of him if you can.
Yeah, well, I know Ollie's he's a lot more committed to the cause. I know that he's found a home at Worcester and he wants to stay there. So fair play to Ollie. I really like him.
There's one boy I want to talk about from Chiefs side again. It's the same boy that done it last week, Patrick Schickerling. Oh my God, props shouldn't move like that,
but he does.
He just does, man.
Alec Hepburn from the 22 popped it off the ground to Schickerling, who brought it up to the 10 metre on Worcester's half.
Crazy stuff.
Him and Genge, that's frightening.
I'm just saying, is there like an emergence of just game breaking props in world rugby at the moment? Because you've got
I think really it was just Ty Furlong and then other people were just like,
Ty Furlong, Tanielo Tupou, what's the young one for Argentina, Gallo?
Yeah.
He's just been
from Italy.
Did Gallo not just be got signed by Gloucester on a short-term contract?
No. It wasn't Gallo. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the Argentinian props.
Oh, ignore me then.
Have you seen what Steve Diamond said after the Worcester game?
Go on.
And folk are saying it's not given much hope. It's not filling Worcester's hope. So it's getting worse.
Mm.
So after the defeat to XR, he said, I don't know how long we can keep going with this, as I've been informed that negotiations are taking place behind the scenes, but I'm not party to them. In the professional era, no director of rugby should be required to deal with such a situation as the players haven't been paid their August salaries. There are limits to how many players or staff can turn out on goodwill without being paid, and it's impossible for anyone to work without any interest in heating with winter around the corner. We're hoping to fulfil the fixture with Gloucester on Wednesday. We wanted to bring in a few loan players, but at present we can't afford to pay the RFU the appropriate sum.
It's a shame to think that these problems sort of arise in such a big competition like the Premiership, and it's even more of a shame to think that, you know, Worcester, that they might not even make it through the whole season, let alone get on to a next season. But
just week by week, they don't know if they can.
It's a complete week by week thing, and it's like every week when you know we're chatting quite a lot about the Worcester in the chat, about the Worcester issue in the chat, and every week, you know, you hope to see something positive, but unfortunately at the moment it's just getting worse and worse.
I mean, what was the other thing I think is the team, how they done the team this week? on social
That
media.
was no, but
They-
their social media admin was class doing that.
Yeah, they put. I saw them post it on TikTok about that. They're like, showed them making it and everything, and I was like, fair play to them. You know,
They're making the best out of a bad situation.
yeah,
All I
100%.
can now is that if you're in the Worcester area, support the club.
Yeah, 100%.
That's,
100%.
you know, that's been a problem in their recent years. And if you're in the Worcester area and you need to go out on a Saturday or a Sunday, watch Worcester because they need your support more than ever. And a day out at the rugby with family, who can actually beat it?
But at the end of the day, you know, another week, we've seen Worcester play another week, and you know, hopefully next week we'll see them play another, and the next week. You can only keep your fingers crossed. But yeah, you know,
Exactly.
we're all hoping for Worcester to, you know, because we all want to see Worcester keep on playing.
They've got Newcastle 6 ways next week, so hopefully, you know what, a result in that would be incredible.
It would be a win for them. Would be incredible.
Exactly. Now, not much to say about other games, but I'll quickly gloss over a few. Northampton 38, Irish 22. Pretty plain sailing for Northampton, I guess.
Yeah.
George Furbank was on one.
You've not just said that. You of all people have not just said that.
Murray,
Mm.
I can dislike someone and still applaud them.
No, you can't. Well, I can't. Maybe you can. You're just a better person than me.
No, all right, okay. I don't hate George Furbank. I hate him in that game against France.
Oh, okay.
Just let me be, Murray. That was a bad game. Anyway, moving on. Bristol 23, Wasps 8. It was pretty plain sailing from Wasps, to be honest. Callum Sheedy doing the business with an incredible 18 points by him.
Yeah, and Magnus Bradbury again, 2 from 2 since moving down to the Bears.
Incredible.
Nice to see.
Leicester 36, Newcastle 21.
Ashton
again.
again.
Ashton again, great from the champions. I think we get to see their best this season.
For the Leicester.
Yeah, I think we get to see their best, but they haven't. I don't think they've tested themselves yet.
They've got a big game next week.
They have got a big game next week.
Do you want to do Premiership predictions now before we?
I'll quickly just say Sale 37, but Bath 20. That doesn't make any difference. Right. Anyway, so
I back Bath to win because he did so well against Bristol.
Anyway, so on the Friday night
Yes.
at the Rec, Bath versus Wasps.
Bath, surely.
I'm gonna.
If you're going to beat a team, you might as well do it against Wasps.
Yeah, I'm gonna back Bath again. I'm gonna say Bath by 10.
I'm gonna go Bath by 2.
Ooh.
I forgot we did that. Bath by 5.
I don't think Bath will have an incredible factor over Wasps, but then again, I don't think there's much to rant about when it comes to Wasps. They've really sort of unimpressed me this season, and whether that's just complete bias or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's.
You know I don't like them.
I mean, I wore a Wasp jersey in the last podcast, and you said, "Cam, what the hell are you wearing?" There was definitely bias there.
There's Harlequin's bias there. Right, so we go to 3 o'clock on next Saturday. Bristol Irish.
This is going to be a close one, I reckon.
Okay.
I'm going to say Bears by 3, and it's going to be by a penalty.
Ooh. I don't think it's going to be close. I think London Irish are still a sleeper team, but I think Bears are just out muscling everyone. So, I know it's only 2 rounds in, but Bears by 15.
Oof.
I'm going to go Bears by 10. They've done some incredible recruitment over the summer, obviously. London Irish are still, as you said, a sleeper team. They've actually got quite a lot about them that I quite like. But I do think it'll be pretty plain sailing for Bristol. Then onto the Midlands Derby, Northampton Leicester.
Yeah, talk about a
Biggest
close one.
games. One of the biggest games in the calendar year, in my opinion.
Who's at home?
It is at Franklin's Gardens.
I think I'm going to use your words, Harv, because you've not seen the best of Tigers yet. I think you're going to get the best of Tigers next week.
Yeah.
I think Tigers by 9.
Yeah, I've said it. I said a few podcasts ago that I've adopted Tigers as my Prem team.
Go on,
Sorry,
Hunter.
There we are. There we are. Yeah. I'm gonna say Tigers by 7.
I'm gonna go Tigers by 3.
Ooh.
This is usually quite a fruitful game, in my opinion.
It's going to be a good game. Hopefully, it's going to be a good game.
If we look at the head-to-head, it's mostly been Tigers.
Yeah,
but they've got. I mean, they've got a grudge over each other. I don't think we've seen anything as close since early 2021. It's kind of been a bit of a Tigers dominance, but then again, Tigers have developed into an incredible side. I think we'll see the best out of. I think we'll see the best out of both sides in this.
That's fair.
Northampton have really impressed me over the last few games towards the end of last season as well. I think they've got a lot for them, especially in their back line. Again, Mr. Furbank, Courtney Skozan,
Tommy
Freeman, Dan Bigger.
Bigger like that.
No, listen.
He's good, but he's not.
I don't like Bigger, but he's still a good player, right?
Oh, I like Bigger.
Leicester by no. There's an obvious reason I don't like him, just being English. But anyway. Right, next game. Stonex Stadium, Saracens, Gloucester.
Oh, easy.
Oh, please be Gloucester. I'm sticking by my rule.
I don't think your rule's going to get you very far.
I don't care. I'll happily lose like £1 on. I don't bet stupid money on like gambling, but like
you're betting your dignity.
If you put a pound on Gloucester to beat Saracens, you get some money back. If you lose £1. It's not the end of the world. And I'm like Harv. He won't back Wasps. I ain't backing Saracens. So
I'll back Saracens, and I'll say by 17.
Listen, I'm going to be realistic here. I'm going to go Saracens by 13.
Yeah.
Oh, realistically, Saracens will win, but I'm not doing it.
Oh wait, cut it there. Murray just said Saracens are going to win.
There you go, perfect. Anyway, we're going to take that as a bet. And then at 6 ways, Worcester versus Newcastle. It's going to be Worcester by 5.
Yeah, I've got to back Worcester here. I'm going to say Worcester by 3.
This is a winnable game.
Very winnable.
I'm going to go for more raw emotion. Worcester by 1. With a last.
If this happens, man, I am going to be not a massive Worcester fan, but I am.
Wait, have we got a week off next week? Me, man, Chiefs.
No.
Oh no! There's going to be a bit of a Rugby Connection podcast rivalry next week.
Because at Sandy Park. Wait, did everyone do their predictions for that one?
Yeah, we all said Worcester. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone Worcester.
At Sandy Park, Exeter versus Harlequins. Cam can go first.
I don't want to.
Murray can go. Right, we'll do us two first, then Cam can be the decider.
Okay.
This has never ended well for me. Every time we do like my team versus your team, and then
except for that one time I was putting Connacht at Edinburgh.
And you have an Edinburgh top. Just shocking scenes. I'm going Chiefs. Obviously, you back your team, don't you, Harv?
Oh, mate, I am going to back my team because it's an easier game.
Oh, it's an easier game.
Go on, how much by? I'm being
Chiefs.
realistic here.
I'm being realistic. I am considered. Ooh.
Oh, what? And Gloucester going to beat Saracens?
Yes. Seems if they do. Seems if they do.
Yeah, seems if they do, but they're not.
Chiefs win by 4.
Wins by 7.
I'm gonna say Rugby will be the winner of this fixture.
Oh.
You're boring, man. Come on, Cam.
Looking at
At this
this
rate-
week's,
at this rate,
this
you
week's
got 50
fixtures.
points.
Actually, yeah. Do I have anything to flip? I have a can of Vaseline. If it lands on the top, I'm going Chiefs. If it lands on the barcode, I'm going Quins. Chiefs are gonna win.
How much by?
I don't know. The Vaseline didn't tell me that much.
Read the first number
I'll
off the
say
barcode.
Chiefs. I'll say Chiefs by. It's going to be for it being a close game. I'll say Chiefs by 1.
Mate, anyway.
The Vaseline spoke on behalf of him.
Yeah, the Vaseline's spoken. All right, Harv, it's enough. The Chiefs are going to win.
Let's go on to a few miscellaneous games before we go on to one of the bigger leagues. First of all, NPC. Saturday morning, I sat down and watched a Ramfurly Shield decider between Wellington and Hawke's Bay. And when I tell you this game was crazy, it was absolutely mental.
Before you tell your story, I didn't even have to watch the game because the Snapchat group was going off its nut every 30 seconds because Harv's like, this is happening. Har's off. Oh my God. Morning.
Anyway, I'll tell you the
Good
story.
morning, Harv.
So I joined about 10 minutes from the end. It's 19-9 to Wellington.
Mhm.
Hawke's Bay's McClutchy, he scores a penalty in the 71st minute to make it 12-19. Around 77 minutes, there's a scrum, it breaks down, penalty to Hawke's Bay. Hawke's Bay go all the way up the field and they're pushing for a try. And line out after line out, they push. Piranara's done an infringement in the ruck. He's off. Another line out. Hawke's Bay are pushing for that golden point. Wellington get the turnover, kick out, and they win.
Scenes. Love it.
Absolute scenes. Wellington
Great for
win
Hawke's Bay.
Ramfurly Shield for the first time since 2009.
Oh my.
Wow,
Incredible.
that's a wild thing, isn't it? What a game then.
Absolutely, man! It was the craziest finish I've probably seen in quite a while.
We've been neglecting the NPC since the Prem and the URC and whatnot starts, but it does.
Well, obviously, we'd like to highlight a few of the players that were on. I will tell you a few of the players that were here. For Hawke's Bay, Brad Webber.
Oh.
Big man Brad Webber, yeah.
Not much else, to be honest. But Wellington, TJ Piranara, Ben Proctor, Julian Sarvia, and off the bench, Jackson Garden Basham.
Our boy.
Our boy.
Our first Super Rugby player, I think he was.
So, how incredible scenes, but not as incredible scenes as in the Championship. Caldy, they're a team up in Merseyside and they've only just been recently promoted up into the Championship from National League One. It's their first season in the Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And they're losing, I think, by about 25th minute, 26-3 by Richmond, who, let's be real, they haven't been the best team in the Championship for a while. I think they got relegated to League One at some point. But anyway, Caldy turn it round and win their first ever Championship game, 34-32 against Richmond.
Wow. What a game.
Incredible scenes. We love an underdog story. Up the boys.
Do you want to hear about a thumping that I'm looking at?
Tell me about something, Murray.
I mean a thumping. Like, brace yourselves. So this was in the Rugby Europe Super Cup, kind of like the second tier Six Nations, like their
Yeah,
club.
the baby Six Nations, I think.
Maybe Six Nations clubs playing. Lusitanos beat the Brussels Devils by 95 points to 0.
Oh,
Ouch. That's a white flag. Call it off.
That's minging. You know,
that's
there's a
not a
rule.
white flag. That's an ambulance coming onto the field with a stretcher. That's
There's
That is
actually a rule-
that's
there's actually
an,
a rule in RFU youth rugby. I don't know if it's in other rules, but apparently, if you're losing over 50-0 at any point, you have to forfeit the game.
I've heard about this. Not in youth rugby. There's apparently a rule in world rugby that states if this, I don't remember the exact score, so if anyone could fill it in blanks, please let me know. But there's a rule that if it gets past a certain score, the ref can just go, no.
I've experienced that in a game that I've played back in school.
When you were losing,
we weren't the best. Well, no, we were the worst team in our local schools league, and I think it got like probably about 10 minutes in the second half. The ref blew his whistle and said game's over. I think we must have been at least like 90 something points down.
I mean, my club, we played a game down in Ashford, and I think we was within the first 15 minutes, we were already 30-0 down.
It's rough.
And just because we scored a try, that rule doesn't come into fruition.
Yeah, no, we didn't score a try.
We're better than you. We scored.
Proper morale boosting those games, aren't they?
Oh, mate,
so morale boosting.
It's horrible, and especially as a kid, like, you know, there's absolutely no competitiveness. You just want to leave.
I will say my last year of senior rugby in school, I was made captain purely because I was like one of the only players who actually played. Bear in mind, we need at least 15 players to play. We like turned up to games with 7 players, and we had to ask to play a sevens game.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
That's how bad it got.
We had a similar thing. So I was playing like an under 13 C game.
Yeah.
The school. And I can't remember what school it was, so I'm not going to name and shame. But they turned up with, I think it was 10 players.
Yeah.
And we had about 20, so we decided to make it 15 aside.
Yeah. Giving them players.
And obviously I switched over. Because I was already named on the bench, so brilliant. You know what I mean? It's like in that situation, you kind of just like feed off the worst ones.
At least that was under 13s. This was bloody senior school rugby for me. We turned up with 7 players.
I was going to add to that. Kind of like Harv story. I think it was under 17s maybe, but proper league game, like game that mattered. We went to this team. They didn't have enough players, so the bench was like chopping and changing, like Harv just said. I got asked to play for the other team, and I scored an absolute screamer.
I bet you caught all the fucking shit in the change rooms.
Now you just got to go over, wag the finger, and you're just like, and you know who's buying rounds that day.
Under 17s.
Oh yeah, 100%, mate. Anyway, let's move on back into the professional game. Return of the URC.
Oh, I can't tell you how excited I am that this is back.
And mate, when I tell you, I was one of the URC's biggest haters last year, at the start of last year. And I watched more URC this week than anything else.
Oh, it's so good, man. It's like mini internationals every bloody week. I love it.
URC, it's in a good position. We're in a good position, but let's not get carried away with ourselves. Game on Friday. Benetton, Glasgow. Our predictions, because I think, did we all predict Glasgow to win that one?
No, I said Benetton would win.
Oh, all right. No, now I remember the group chat because we were all laughing at Glasgow, and Cam was just like, "Oh, I said it, guys."
I did. But bear in mind,
how much did you say bye by? How much did you say bye, by the way?
No, to be fair, I said Benetton by like 3 or something. They gave Glasgow a thumping.
22.
22 points over Glasgow.
That's horrible. So let's all just laugh at Glasgow for a sec. Anyway,
Take a minute.
Leinster Zebra.
The Irish team, not the Irish, the Italian teams were on a bit of a madness.
We didn't expect this one because
No.
I think we all said Leinster would win by like 40.
40 plus, easy.
It was unfortunate that Zebra didn't win.
Yeah, honestly, there's it's like 78th minute. Zebra have the ball. They're running the Leinster line in the 22, thinking they're gonna make a line break. So they were making line breaks like that whole last 20 minutes. They were ripping Leinster's defensive line to shreds. And unfortunately, the ball gets knocked on. Leinster, kick it away, and then essentially, Zebra just run out of time. But
how incredible, though!
Wow.
I mean, Italian teams, they brought it.
Brought it.
But
that's what you want in round one. You don't want them to play catch up. You want them to be there from the word go.
You know what? Is this a turnaround for just Italian rugby?
Yes.
Yeah. To be fair, thinking about it, Italy, okay, they've maybe gone a bit downhill from their win against Wales in the Six Nations. They lost to Georgia and whatnot, but the team and the whole sort of rugby culture in Italy is growing. And I mean, looking at these two results for the first round of the URC, you can't really deny it.
Oh, you can't fault them. And Benetton, they're not a bad team by any means.
No. Eternal Rainbow Cup winners.
Yeah, but the Rainbow Cup was like the greatest competition of all time. You can't. I mean, like Benetton would beat like 2015 All Blacks because the Rainbow Cup is just the most incredible thing.
Therefore, Benetton greatest team ever.
Fact. Anyway, Cam, resident Safa.
Yes, Bulls versus Lions. I said this would be a close game. It wasn't really. It was less close. I think Lions, first off the score, 31-15 to the Bulls. It was played in Emirates Airlines Park. So it was a home game for the Lions, a home loss for the Lions. First things first, Emirates Airlines Park, known for being the ground comes up quite a bit, quite a slippy ground. There were quite a few slips and slides. Maybe that added to the bit of chaos that this game was. But yeah, the Lions, I think, suffering from a bit of what was torturing them last season. You can see what they're trying to do, and when it works, it works. And last season we saw when it works, the Lions can break apart any team. They beat teams like Munster, Cardiff, all sorts last season. But when it comes to it, they just bit all over the place.
Fair.
The Bulls, however, they did Bulls things. And brilliant win. Funny little thing from the game. One of my favourites, Marcel Coetzee. He was talking to the ref. There was a few handbags, and Coetzee got involved. And the ref was like, "Listen, you're the captain. I can't have you getting involved in these fights." And Marcel Coetzee just went to the ref and said, "Listen here, mate. When he's going at my players, I'm not going to step out." He basically told the ref off. It was brilliant.
I think Packies both are. That story, I still can't wrap my head around that story. The Victor Matfield told us on the show.
Victor Matfield, yes. It's just in the genes, I think, of the Afrikaners. It's in their genes
to be arsehole.
Shithouses, just to be absolute shithouses. But no, listen. First little South African derby, I suppose. Pretoria versus Johannesburg. The Bulls started well for their season.
Fair enough.
Cardiff.
I called it.
2013.
Yes.
You did call it, to be fair. A bit of an uneventful game.
It was a bit.
Yeah.
But what we'll say is just fair play to Cardiff. But we'll move again to Wales. Scarlets Ospreys. Now, I said there would be a draw last week. didn't say it was this game, but it was a draw.
Some game. That's the best way I can describe that. Is some game.
I
mean,
wanted.
But I mean, you know,
on debut to
huh?
Jack Walsh, the young fly half,
Yes.
signed for Ospreys, left Exeter, obviously in pursuit of more game time, as any young player would. Makes his debut for the Ospreys and scores a beautiful kick to level it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was the game of the fly-off, really. I mean, you had Gareth Anscombe on one end who scored a bulk of the points for the Ospreys. Costello as well, who
got man of the match.
Who got man of the match.
Yeah, I was just about to point out Sam Costello.
And was the only non-Liam Williams scorer.
Yeah.
Liam Williams did score a try as well, which... Oh, no, it wasn't even Liam Williams. It was just Williams.
Liam Williams was playing for Cardiff and got injured again.
Cardiff. I saw Williams and I was like, oh, Williams for Scarlets. It's Liam Williams.
I want to say, watching that game, Sam Costello, he's electric. I really like him. It's nice to see a 10 taking it to the line, and he did. You know, he scored one pretty nice one, pretty janky step. He got so close for a second. He did get a yellow card in the first half for a bit of a lift in the ruck on Tipperick. But yeah, Sam Costello, he got man of the match, and I think deserved it. So fair play to him. Really good player.
I mean, fair play to him. He is electric, so much that an Oasis wrote a song about him. Anyway, next. Anyway, next up, a game a bit more close to our hearts. Edinburgh Dragons. Murray was obviously at the game. I watched this game on S4C because Welsh television. Dragons were 6-0 up.
Yeah, Dragons were up in this game, by the way. Dragons were up in this game.
The 25th minute when Ben Villacott started an absolute downpour.
Yep.
On the Dragons, and then it was just plain sailing from there. Really.
44 unanswered points.
Unreal.
Wow, I didn't even hear that from Murray even once.
Yeah, sorry, that is a quote from Murray. From the group
not that I've heard it about 3,000 times.
It was one of those ones that you read, if you just read the score 44-6, it's a thumping. But when you look at it, like you said, Dragons were in the lead for half an hour of that game.
Yeah.
Edinburgh were nowhere to be seen.
He put them up within like the second minute.
Yeah.
So essentially, if you're looking at it, Edinburgh scored almost scored a point per minute.
Yeah.
In the time in their scoring period. So yeah, fair play. A pretty daunting start for the rest of the team, seeing Edinburgh start like that at home. Fair enough. I think Kyle said, listen, Murray, calm down. It was against the Dragons.
Even though Kyle
Listen, even 2015 New Zealand, who he called frauds earlier, would beat the Dragons. So
fair enough. No, but it was a really good game. Darcy Graham, twice. The second try, I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, he had no right scoring it.
Since when has he started wearing a scrum cap?
That game, I asked myself this when I arrived.
I was watching the highlights, and because I watched the first 10 minutes, and then I think I switched over to the Bulls Lions game or something, whatever was on. Mm-hmm. And I was watching the highlights, and they were saying like, "Oh, Darcy Graham." I'm looking at this player, and I'm like, "It's not Darcy Graham.
That's just Coleman, isn't it?
That's not Darcy."
No, it was an unreal game. I mean, Sam Skinner made his debut, lovely, and they've got a new chant. I'm not going to sing it on the show, but Harv will love it. All I'm saying is, do the tequila song.
Oh, I've seen this going around.
Don't shout tequila, shout Edinburgh. There you go. and it got the place
Okay.
rocking. The subs
Anyway.
were loving it. Yeah.
Last game, Ulster Connacht. I did watch this game, well, for as much as I possibly could. It got to a bit of a bore, to be honest. Ulster were just on one.
A bit more lackluster than I think we all thought this game was going to be.
I mean, we all back. Did we all back Connacht to win just for the jokes?
I think so.
I'll back
Yeah.
Connacht.
Listen, but you know, what can I say? Nathan Doak was incredible. Jacob Stockdale, actually, I'd have to say, and
Absolute hair of a kick.
Absolute belter of a kick, might I add.
France Spain level kick.
Better. Anyway. Anyway. No, I'd say from someone who's a bit more of a Jacob Stockdale simp as I am, listen, Murray, I love the man. It was a shame he got injured.
I know, no, I've just never heard you say that you're a big Stockdale fan. That's why I was like, this is new.
It's because he hasn't played in ages. I haven't been able to talk about him. But anyway, back to full fitness. It kind of made my heart warm. And to be fair, he played well, you know, to not come away with a score, but you know, he was having out on the wing. His kicking game was good. I do think that they maybe put a bit too much pressure on him. You know what I mean? Just getting the ball out wide to him, and kind of the Connacht are reading that. But to be fair, then they couldn't really read all the rest of their attacks because they did let in 36 points. But either way, fair play to Ulster. Should we go on to the next round?
Yes, let's predict.
I'm eager to make some predictions here.
3 Friday night games at 5:30 in Italy. Zebra, Sharks.
Right. Obviously, the Sharks being my boys. We were talking about a stacked team with the Saracens. Sharks, maybe even more stacked. We've been signing players. If Sharks don't win by at least 20, I'm going to be disappointed in them.
No pressure then.
Yeah, Sharks.
If Zebra, they showed a little bit against Leinster. Come on.
No,
Right.
Sharks by 20. At
Tell
least.
I'll cut it in half. Sharks by 10.
Okay.
I'll meet you in the middle. I'll do Sharks by 15.
All right. Okay. Over in the west side of Scotland, Glasgow versus Cardiff.
Well, after Glasgow being the sort of whipping horse of last week with the Dragons, I'm going to say Cardiff by 15.
That's horrible.
I'm sorry, but they just didn't impress me. They didn't impress me.
I'll go Cardiff by 12.
Okay.
And Franco, we trust. Nah, Cardiff are winning. Cardiff are winning.
That was no
Cardiff
trust.
are winning by 30.
In Franco, we trust.
That's maybe the saddest thing I've heard all week. Anyway, Leinster Benetton. Now we already discussed that Benetton are the greatest team to have ever stepped on a rugby pitch. I've
sort of already made my prediction for this because from last week and throughout the week in the group chat, I've been saying Benetton to beat Leinster this URC season. So I have to back my statement, and I'm going to say Benetton by 3.
I can't believe I've heard this 2 weeks in a row. I can't listen to this much more.
I will come. And next week, you boys will be converted because next week we'll be sitting reviewing a Benetton win. So
when do I buy Cam like the Benetton shirt for his birthday? Like,
I'm just gonna like pave my walls with Benetton shirts.
Oh Lord, Murray.
I mean, I want Cam to be right.
2 right. You want it. Just say it. Just say what you want.
Well, one, money. No. No. Leinster's at home. They're I don't know. I think it's going to be a thumping.
Wait, let me just use a bit of logic here. The Bulls beat Leinster at home last season. Benetton
No, we're not doing this. We did this in season 1.
Benetton beat the Bulls. Therefore, Benetton can beat Leinster.
Well, every team is beatable. Me and Harv said that a few weeks ago. But,
We said that about the Rugby Championship, not the URC.
I don't want to say it and sound stupid. My head says Leinster by like 20, but my heart says Benetton by 5.
Just bear in mind, we said Leinster by 40 against Zebra. Just remember that. Remember what happened. Just saying.
Get on with it.
I've said it. That's the best answer you get out of me.
Wait, oh, Christ. You know what? I'm seeing the lineup that Leinster put out yesterday. I'm going to go Benetton by 1.
Finally.
You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, Benetton by 5. There you go.
There we go.
I have converted you both.
Down in Wales. On Saturday.
Why do you like?
Because it's Wales.
Because it's a Dragons match.
At 1, Scarlets versus Ulster.
Oh, Scarlets Ulster.
Scarlets by 2.
Oh.
That is not bias.
That's not bias for you, no.
Why do you?
Ulster by
No.
16.
Ooh. I was going to say Ulster, but I'm going to say Ulster by 11.
Please don't let Ulster win. Anyway, down in Pretoria, it is Bulls versus Edinburgh.
Sorry, Murray, but the Bulls are gonna run you ragged by 15 points.
You know what? I was surprised you didn't go for more, so I might go for more here.
Do it. I did stop myself from going for more. I said 15 out of respect for Murray.
Bulls by 22.
Can I raise you? Can I say Bulls by 25?
What is this, like an auction?
It's like a poker game. Murray, what's your thoughts? What's your 2 cents on the subject?
I fold. No, I'm backing my team. And
yeah, fair enough.
If you don't remember, if you need a history lesson, we were the first team to win in South Africa.
I don't recall that happening, and I don't recall it happening.
It was in the Shark Tank as well.
I don't recall that ever happening.
Nah, so I'm going to back the boys. Edinburgh by 3.
Okay, I'll let you off on that one.
Down in Cape Town, Stormers, Connacht.
I'm so excited. I will say after actually, to be fair, forever, I've been a Sharks fan, but I've always been a bit of a closet Stormers fan as well.
You need to pick a team. You need to learn quick on who your
Sharks
teams
are my team. Sharks are my team, but I do have a soft spot for the Stormers. I'm very excited.
The Stormers.
Huh?
Who has a soft spot for the Stormers? Who likes the Stormers?
What do you mean? Who likes the Stormers?
Man,
the players don't even like the Stormers. That's why they all leave.
No, I'm sorry. Anyway, Stormers by 27 points.
Fuck.
You know what? I'm gonna give Connacht some slack here and go Stormers by 15.
No.
Stormers by 15. Come on.
Can you see the South African cockiness spewing out of me?
Yes, it's like tons of South Africans and they're all the same.
The overconfidence. I'm playing to the stereotypes. I'm doing my country a disservice here.
I'm gonna go.
Just wait until the accent comes on.
It never will. It's gone forever.
Go on, Murray.
Oh no, rattled by Cam's prediction. Stormers by 8. I don't think it's going to be as convincing, but they'll still get a W.
Ospreys, Lions.
Ooh.
I'm gonna just shout it out here. I think it'll be Ospreys by 11. I don't rate the Lions.
No, that's fair. I'm going to go Ospreys by 7. Nice,
I mean,
solid.
I'm also a bit of a closeted Ospreys fan for absolutely no reason.
Interesting.
I'm loving
Who
how
likes the
everyone-
Ospreys?
What? I think Ospreys are fairly likable.
No, as much as I want to back the Lions as just, one of the South African provinces,
Don't you live in Ospreys territory?
no, I live in Scarlet's territory.
Oh, poor you.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to say Ospreys by 12. Unfortunately, as much as I want to back the Lions, I'm going to have to say Ospreys by 12.
Wait a minute, Harv, isn't your local team technically London Irish?
It's difficult because they're all over way out west and north, and I'm on the complete other side of the city.
Fair enough.
It would be about as difficult for me to get to any of them. But I just like Harlequins.
That's fair.
Thank you for the clarification. Murray, Ospreys, Lions.
I said it. I said Ospreys by 7.
Okay, fair enough. And over in the over up in Newport, it's Dragons versus Munster. And if I've
game.
week, it's going to be Munster by 15.
Munster by 15. Just 15?
You're not doing the Dragons any service, man. I mean,
no, but listen, they went 44. Fair enough, they were away to Edinburgh, but 44 unanswered points.
Shocking.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Munster by 18. I'll give the Dragons a bit of. I know saying they're gonna lose by 18 points.
A bit of slack.
But I'm gonna say Munster by 18.
Munster by 30. They're going to be absolutely pissed off that they got beat by Cardiff. Dragons, actually, Dean Ryan, Dragons head coach, came out after the defeat to Edinburgh and basically just blamed the players. Didn't even take the blame. He came out and went, the lockers meant to be filled with international caliber players. I don't see one. I'm like,
oh dear.
That's
No.
so bad.
That's one way to win your players over.
I mean,
I'm going to say one of these weeks after a Dragons fixture, we are going to be sitting here eating our words when Dragons beat Ulster by 17 points or something.
And they beat Leinster.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. But yeah, for now, Munster 18 over Dragons.
Dragons might even beat Benetton at this rate. The best.
No, it's not happening. It's not happening, Harv. That's impossible.
Actually, we had Cam made a bold prediction.
Beatable, according to Murray.
They are.
The only team that shall beat Benetton this season is the Sharks.
No,
Bro.
because Benetton are the greatest team to ever set foot on a rugby pitch.
They are.
I'm going to make a bold prediction, like Cam did last week with his Benetton Leinster thing that he's all turned us to this week. Dragons will win a game this season against Glasgow Warriors.
Is that
unbelievable? You've picked
caliber-wise, it's outlandish, but the way they're going, I can see
but it's not like Glasgow are playing like elite level.
Don't tell them that.
do you think they've realised
They're
that?
not, mate. I mean, fair play. They lost to the greatest side to have ever stepped on a rugby pitch this week.
Yeah, I mean, that is fair enough. They scored, let's look at it this way. They scored 11 points against the best rugby team ever.
That's a positive.
Such a weird
Anyway, on that
How long
note,
can we keep this going?
I think it's best we end.
I think it's best we do.
Thank you everyone for listening to us ramble about about URC teams and the greatest team to ever stepped on a rugby pitch. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you're watching on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and press the notification bell, because who wouldn't want to see our lovely faces again, and Cam.
See what you did there? I raised my hand to that and I instantly regretted it.
if you're listening on Spotify, again, give us another listen. We've got tons more. We've got tons of episodes out and episodes, interviews. Two props on pod.
Yes.
We're a big family. Please follow us as well. Follow our socials. We are on TikTok. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. Follow us there. We do a lot of work behind the scenes on those, and follow us on our individual socials, obviously, to see the more personal sides of each other, I guess. And catch us again next week when Benetton have kept up their streak as the greatest rugby team to have ever stepped on the pitch. Thank you, and later.
Cheers, guys.